Brought to you by Hallow, the world's #1 prayer app. Hey, Rick, what's up, brother?
I'm doing good.
What's up, man?
Well, I'm calling about my best friend, and I guess that's kind of an understatement. My dad used to call her Miracle Girl before he passed away 4 years ago. And we met at my mom's memorial service, and her mom was trying to convince me to hire her daughter to do graphic design for me, and I ended up doing that. And while we started working together, I began to see her in a really different light. I realized I was able to have really deep conversations, philosophical conversations, and neither one of us were bored or not on the same page. And she was also extremely supportive in this time of my life where I felt like I'd pretty much lost everything. I lost my mom, I lost my grandmother 6 days before, and I lost my son because his mom took him and ran to another state with our son. And so I was feeling pretty alone. And, you know, when I realized that she was this most amazing person, I let her know that I didn't see her as a coworker or a friend. And she told me that she was not going to be dating anyone until she was at least 40. So I let it go. And
Hold up. What?
Well, you know, I think that kind of stems from some of her own family trauma.
No, you don't say. Even I've heard a lot of boundaries in my life, and that's the first time I've ever heard that boundary. I will date when I'm 40. I don't even know what to say to that, man. Dude, you know me. You listen to the show. I talk too much, and that one shut me up, man. I don't know what to say. All right, so you are over time madly in love with somebody, and I guess she works for you. Does she work with you?
No. So I think I want to fast forward a little bit. So in 2019, I decided to move to Utah and move with my dad and his wife. And I invited her to come with. And I figured, you know, I'm going to have a lot of extra room in this new house. And she decided she was up for the adventure. So for the last 5 years, we've been living together in separate rooms. But we've traveled all over the country together. We've continued to work together. We cook together. We go to church together. We work out at the gym together. We do like everything together. And we even watch your show together. So,
do y'all sleep together?
Do we what?
Have y'all ever slept together?
No. Nothing like that.
I love you. Like, no, not that.
Just, well, you know,
we just worship and travel and eat and cook, and we share the most intimate parts of our lives except for that. Okay. And so my guess is she still doesn't want to marry you.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be the thing. And I think that, in fact, here's the funnier part. We watched your show with the interview with the Harvard professor.
Oh, Dr. Brooks. Yeah.
Yeah, we loved it. And the thing that we were noticing is that he talked about these stages of falling in love. And, you know, it's like we didn't have that. We kind of jumped from we didn't really know each other that well to working together and then just doing life together. And so we didn't have this kind of phase of the drama, if you will, of falling in love. And I think that for her, you know, one of the things she talks about is like, I don't feel the fireworks. I don't feel like the spark or, you know, something magical. And yet we do our lives together so beautifully, and we just have so much fun together. And
hey, dude, I'm going to break your heart right now, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
How long? It's been 7 years?
Yep.
Yeah, this is 7 years of drama. You didn't avoid the drama. You are in it up to your eyeballs. And here's why. You've held out hope. And when you meet somebody in the whirlwind of the loss you endured, on the heels of the loss of, I'm assuming, your first marriage, is that right?
We weren't married, but
okay.
Yeah, it was we were living together for 11 years.
Okay. Oh my gosh, dude. I mean, the word that just keeps coming to mind is you've been living in a fantasy for 7 years.
Mm.
And there's an exhale to this. This is a harder, more practical question. Does she pay rent?
Yeah.
Market rent or buddy rent?
Yeah. No. Market.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's got a pretty good setup.
Mm-hmm.
She's a guy that loves her, the guy that takes care of her in every way, but she does not have to make the same emotional commitment.
Right.
And y'all are very, very close friends in that you do life together. Y'all are not close friends in that you keep burying a part of yourself in order to maintain proximity to this fantasy.
Mm.
And if she truly loved you like a close, deep, intimate friend, not sexually, not romantically, but deep, intimate friend, she would have moved out because she knows she's torturing you. And if you loved you as much as you love the idea of her, you would have said, hey, I need to sell this house. I need to find my own place. Or buy this house, but I need you to find your own place.
Yeah.
This is unhealthy for me. And I do want to have a deep, powerful, romantic relationship one day, and it's not going to be with you. I've got to move on with my life.
I think the hard part for both of us is that we both value the relationship that we have very much, because neither one of us have ever met someone like the other, in that we don't have, like, she's never had somebody in her life that, has been the kind of person I've been in her life. And that also goes in reverse. I've never met anyone like her. And I think that's part of why this is such a struggle, is because it's like, I don't think either one of us wants to lose this thing that we have, but there's also this kind of, separation in terms of how each of us feel about each other.
You want more, though.
Right.
And she's got her perfect setup. She didn't want to be romantically and get with somebody till she was 40. She got the dream set up. She got the provision, the protection. She got the ride or die. She's got the meal provider. She's got the travel security. But she doesn't have to do the next more scary, terrifying thing, which is be vulnerably intimate with somebody. And I'm not telling her that she has to do that with you.
Right.
What I'm saying is it's almost parasitic. And listen, if you were not every day waking up, seeing her saying, you are the woman of my dreams, and she's saying, no, you're the friend of my dreams. If y'all weren't doing that and y'all are just roommates, that's great. Y'all are two like close buddies, you know what I mean? And y'all like live together and y'all are both dating other people and doing life. Like, I got no problem. Fine. Knock your lights out.
Right.
That's not the case here. Every day you're chasing a ghost. And so you get in this weird spiral of, I want this to be something more than it is, and she wants it to be the same forever and ever, and both of those are fantasies.
Right. Well, part of what, for me, like, what I've been trying to do is rather than play the game of demanding that she just automatically feel different, I've been working on me to say, hey, what do I have to do to be more attractive?
I know, but you don't hear what you're saying. You don't hear what you're saying. She said no. She said no. It's not about you. It's not about something you've done wrong. It's not about something that you are not. Because if it was something that was wrong with you or something you are not, she wouldn't travel with you. She wouldn't live in the same house as you. She wouldn't cook and share meals with you. It's not about you. It's about her. She said no. And that's why I say she's a fantasy for you. Because she allows you this illusion of this carrot that just keeps moving. Every time you get close, it just moves and it moves and it moves. It's this finish line, but it allows you not to re-engage in the real world. And it allows you to, in a not narcissistic, but I'm talking about the myth of narcissists. Like, it allows you just to keep looking in the reflection of yourself in the pool and saying, "What about me? What about me? What about me?" This dude has nothing to do with you. She said no. And there's an exhale there. Does that make sense?
It makes sense on a logical level, and I think the hard part is figuring out. And I'm sure this is probably true for her too. It's like I don't think either one of us, we want to hold on to whatever that is the magic that we do have, and I think the hard part is just saying, as good as that magic is, it's not good enough for.
I think that's the wrong thing.
Okay.
I don't want you to, because what you're doing is you're categorizing. Like I've got multiple friends. Like I just went and did an event for a buddy of mine named Tucker. We've been friends for over 30 years. We met in middle school. My buddies Ryan and Caleb and Chris, dude, I've known them since I was 0. 40 plus years. Right? Like you don't get those. Those are not less than my marriage to my wife for a quarter century. They're different.
Right.
And so trying to categorize, like, it's never going to be as good as, no, dude, what you have with her, see, I trust you. It's amazing. It's awesome. But it's not this romantic adventure that you want to go on.
Right.
This becoming one. Y'all are incredible roommates. You are not 1 + 1 = 1. Y'all aren't a new math problem. And you desperately want it to be.
That's true.
But I think you constantly saying, okay, how do I work on me? I'm going to get in better shape. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to be nicer. I'm going to try new foods. I'm going to go to visit exotic locations that she wants to go on. All those activities keep you from having to grieve the fact that you've got to move on to find a romantic one for the rest of your life.
Right.
It's a Xanax. It's a fantasy.
Got it.
And y'all can still be amazing, close, wonderful friends. But you can't share a house, dude. Because I don't want to date somebody who's like, this is my super best, perfect, wonderful human, except they just wouldn't marry me, so I decided to bring you home. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to mention, I just cast that out that way. Not to mention you. Because every morning you wake up to have breakfast and you're playing theater.
Right.
Because I want to imagine that this would be us having breakfast. And I want to imagine that I get to see how beautiful you are every morning with no makeup.
Right.
And she gets to imagine what it'd be like waking up and having a providing strong man in the house, but not really having to go all in when it comes to vulnerability and intimacy and building a romantic, erotic life together.
Right. Yeah.
I hate that, man.
Yeah.
Can I tell you more than anything? I want her to be yours. I mean, not yours, like possession-wise, but I want her to be your person.
Right.
And she's told you for 7 years it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I would say keep being roommates, keep being best friends. I don't know that you can right now.
Yeah. I think you're right, and that's a tough. It's really hard for me to have that, to make that admission, I guess.
I know. You know where you got to spend some time. You got to spend some time with grief, brother.
Yeah.
And you've heard me say this, but it's just that gap between what I wanted to be true and what actually is.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wanted my grandma, my grandmother, my granddad, I wanted them to live forever because they're awesome and they're wise and they're hilarious and snarky and funny, and they died. Right?
Yeah.
And I wanted the first 10 years of my marriage to be awesome, and it wasn't. And a lot of it was because of me. You know what I mean? Like, I got to grieve that, and then I got to go do the next right thing.
Yeah. I've learned a ton, and I will say that I think that, I'm not one of those people that's had a lot of relationships in my life. I've had 2 significant relationships, and and that was it. I've been very. I grew up in a very conservative home, and my parents were they gave me a great role model for most of my life, and so so much of what I see in my bestie, I really see the same dynamic that my parents had. And, maybe that's more valuable to me because I see the ebb and flow and how how beautiful that synergy kind of works together, but maybe it's not as valuable for her because she didn't have that growing up.
No, stop doing that. Stop playing comparison. What you have with this woman is great. It's amazing. It's once in a lifetime. And there's a period. It's not the full extent of what you want your adult life to be.
Right.
So it's not an either or, it's a both and. What you have with her is amazing. And you want to have a deep, passionate, powerful, romantic relationship.
Right.
It's not an either or. And it doesn't matter about her childhood. I'm sure that there may be that your parents didn't have a great romantic relationship, but they were great co-managers of a household, and you're reimagining that. I'm going to say this, and it sounds weird because I'm always saying the opposite. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is right this second.
Right.
You have the depth and a powerful friendship and a loving friendship, and you want something else.
Right.
And it's not trying to figure it out, not trying to map it. It's not trying to go backwards and forwards and up and down and why me and why you, and I'm going to keep working harder because one day I'm going to win you. She, for 7 years, the better part of a decade, has looked at you and said, no. No. I want part of you. I don't want all of you. And for 7 years, you've been willing to not accept all of somebody and not to live fully all of you because you've been hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping. And that's why I got to spend some time in grief, man. It's not going to happen. She told you that. And I think that the most honoring friend thing you could do is to honor it and say, cool, we're going to stay close friends, and I'm going to start dating. I'm going to need you to move out. And we'll still hang out. We can still have coffee together, whatever. But I'm going to begin to turn my sights upward because I don't think I'm a problem. I don't think there's a thing that I don't bring to the table that will then one day you'll go, oh, that's it. I don't think there is. I think I'm working really hard. I think I'm a pretty good man. I think I've done incredible work on myself. I think I'm valuable and worth being in a romantic relationship. And maybe I want to have a romance and I want to have kids and I want to make this kind of life. And I'm going to honor the fact that you for 7 years have said no. Fantastic. But I'm going to move on. And bro, that's going to rip your heart out because you wanted it to be different and it's just not. Sorry, man. Thanks for letting me honor you enough just to sit with you and tell you the truth. And man, she wants to call in. If she's a show listener, I'm happy for her to call in too. Y'all can both call in. But I'm really grateful that you let me sit with you for a few minutes. Here's your homework assignment. I want you to write a letter to your future wife, the woman you haven't met yet. Not the fantasy that's your roommate, but I want you to write a letter to your future wife. Tell her you're coming for her. And tell her what you really want, what you expect, what you hope when it comes to romance and eroticism and love and sensuality and sexuality. I want you to tell her, I'm coming for you. I'm going to come find you. And I'm going to take my head out of the mirror. I'm going to take my head out of the mirroring pool. I'm going to start looking up because I'm coming to find you. Download the Hallow app today and get 3 free months at hallow.com/Delony.